In the early morning hours, cobblestone streets echo with the rhythmic steps of pedestrians and delivery carts. The air still holds a chill from the river breeze, and Notre Dame Basilica's Gothic Revival towers catch the rising sun. Though glass towers loom nearby, Old Montreal is a district where the past persists, not as memory, but as living fabric. The story of Old Montreal is a layered chronicle of Indigenous presence, of French colonial dreams, of British conquest, of economic ambition, and of cultural reinvention. It's a place where centuries converse in stone and iron, and where the identity of a nation was shaped. Long before it became Old Montreal, this area on the banks of the mighty St. Lawrence River was part of the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee and Anishinaabe. The river itself, known to the Mohawk as Kanyatarowanene, meaning the Big Waterway, was a vital artery for trade, migration, and diplomacy. In 1642, a group of devout French settlers, led by Paul de Chaumedet de Maisonneuve and Jeanne Mounts, arrived on this very bank. Their mission, backed by the Société de Notre-Dame de Montréal, was not only to colonize, but to convert Indigenous peoples to Christianity. The settlement was named Ville-Marie, or City of Mary. They were met with both hardship and resistance, particularly from the Iroquois Confederacy, with whom relations fluctuated between fragile peace and open conflict. Despite the challenges, harsh winters, hunger, and warfare, Ville-Marie endured. By the late 1600s, it had grown into a small but vital fur trading post within the colony of New France. Its strategic location at the confluence of the St. Lawrence and Ottawa rivers made it a keystone for commerce. The name Montreal, derived from nearby Mount Royal, Montréal in French, gradually overtook the original religious name, signaling a transition from mission to mercantile town. In the 18th century, Old Montreal became the colony's commercial heart. Warehouses, inns, and port facilities sprang up along what is now Rue de la Commune. The fur trade dominated its early economy, with pelts shipped in massive quantities to France via Quebec City. This era saw the construction of some of the oldest standing buildings in Canada, including the Sulpician Seminary. These structures, with their thick limestone walls and steep pitched roofs, remain emblematic of the early French architecture of North America. In 1760, Montreal surrendered to the British during the 7 Years' War, marking a major turning point. Though the French-speaking population remained, the colonial elite now spoke English. The British brought new commercial links, especially with the rapidly industrializing Atlantic world. By the early 1800s, Old Montreal was bustling with banks, shipping firms, and the offices of the Hudson's Bay Company. The city's port expanded dramatically with the construction of the La Chine Canal in 1825. Montreal became a key inland shipping hub. Goods from the Great Lakes could now be offloaded and transferred to ocean-going vessels. Old Montreal streets became crowded with freight wagons, laborers, and businessmen from across the empire. Architecturally, the area was transformed again. The neoclassical Bank of Montreal headquarters, completed in 1847, and other stone edifices reflected British tastes. The blend of French and British styles gave the neighborhood its distinctive hybrid aesthetic. The prosperity of Old Montreal reached its height in the mid-19th century, as Montreal's population swelled and industry boomed. The city expanded westward and northward. New financial districts emerged uptown. By the early 20th century, Old Montreal's prominence had waned. The port remained active, but the neighborhood was increasingly viewed as outdated. In 1964, the City of Montreal officially designated Old Montreal as a historic district. This laid the groundwork for its remarkable revival. Buildings were restored, the streets were paved in a period-appropriate stone, and the waterfront reimagined. By the 1990s, Old Montreal had become a vibrant cultural and commercial district once more, though of a very different kind. Where once merchants traded pelts, now art galleries, boutique hotels, and digital startups flourished. The area's character had transformed, yet remained deeply tied to its past. Walking through Old Montreal today is to pass through layers of history. Along Rue Saint-Paul, the city's oldest street, French signage nods to colonial origins, even as you hear English, Arabic, Mandarin, and Spanish from passing tourists. Cafes occupy old stables, tech companies work behind 200-year-old facades. The Notre Dame Basilica, completed in 1829, still dominates Place d'Armes. Its twin towers rise over the statue of Maisonneuve, who once led the town's defenses. But across the square, the head office of the Bank of Montreal, Canada's oldest bank, tells the story of a different kind of empire, one of capital and commerce. Montreal's identity as a bilingual, bicultural metropolis is encapsulated in Old Montreal. It's where French Catholic heritage meets British Protestant commerce, where Indigenous history lies just beneath the surface, and where modern multiculturalism overlays it all. While the grandeur of Old Montreal's buildings captures attention, its true history lies in the lives that filled them. Black porters worked for the rail yards and docks. Irish immigrants built streets and churches. Jewish and Italian merchants set up shops. Today, artists, chefs, and artisans contribute to its renaissance. As the city continues to grow and change, Old Montreal remains its soul. It offers lessons in coexistence, of styles, languages, and ambitions. What makes Old Montreal exceptional is not just its age, but its continuity. Few places in North America preserve the colonial, industrial, and postmodern layers of history with such clarity. I hope you've enjoyed this video. This channel has more videos of Montreal in the Montreal playlist, which is linked in the description below the video. The channel also has more videos of my adventures bicycling through Latin America, Southeast Africa, Central and Eastern Europe, and I have playlists for all those countries that I've traveled through, available on the same channel, Hum of the Earth. So for more videos of Montreal and other cool places around the world, you can subscribe to the channel by clicking on the red subscribe button and clicking on the bell to be notified when new videos come out. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.